Shalom, fam. Shalom. Peace and power to all the Americans, Aboriginals, the Indians, Indios, people of the Most High, from the mainland to the islands. Let's get into this. A Stagecoach Mary, y'all looking at. And they say she was born in 1832, right? Hickman County, Tennessee. And y'all know when you start looking at Tennessee in those years, like, they saying she was born into slavery, but they got a question mark on when she was born if it was 1832. Because they can't put the slavery thing together with her because they don't know where her name came from, how she was enslaved, who she's enslaved. Speculation talking about that was her slave master's name. You know, y'all know how I get, man. Y'all know how these people can't keep up with their lies and like they gonna somehow just give you a slave name. They gonna let slave people take on their names, the whole names. And like we was bullied around and like these people, you really think that these Caucasian people that they saying be bullying us and all this fake slavery and all that, you think the women is gonna let them run around woman of color with their whole name? They'd be going crazy having a fit. No, her name can't be Mary. Her name can't be Mary Field. That indigenous woman ain't held to our standards. They can't have our whole names. And come on, man. I got people in my family named, I showed y'all before with the Callaways. We got ones named Prince back in so-called slave years. How the heck you gonna allow a person to be named Prince? And dang, pale faces be like, man, I ain't calling him no Prince. Boy. So this is the lies they can't keep up with, y'all. They tell so many lies, they can't even keep up with their own lies. 1 minute you a slave, 1 minute you free. 1 minute you a Negro, 1 minute you Indian, 1 minute you African American. They can't keep up with their own lies because they done told so many. You know how they tell you gotta tell a lie, tell another lie, you gotta tell another lie. And this is all the stuff we finding and debunking with all these lies on top of lies on top of lies. So it said that she was, she was born with 1832, question mark, Hickman County, Tennessee. Like I told y'all, and y'all check on the census records and all that of Tennessee. You start looking and you start seeing all these straight copper-complected people, indigenous Americans, and you ain't even finding too many dang Caucasians around in that area at these times in the early 1800s. So there's a lot of, these lies is being unraveled, y'all, right before your eyes. Okay, so she was born in Hickman County, Tennessee, U.S., died December 5th, 1914, Cascade County, Montana. She was an American pioneer who was the first so-called African-American woman to become a U.S. Postal Service Star contract route mail carrier. The first woman. Right? And this is why it's just so crazy, y'all, because when y'all see what she's doing, how she's talking about she just came out of slavery, all this stuff like that, none of this stuff adds up to how she's acting. And I mean, she's a cold piece. She reminds me of one of my grandma that passed, my mom's mom. They used to say carry pistols and guns and all that. These are the Indians, y'all. Then you're going to find out she goes on out there to Montana because she meets a Catholic woman. You know how people get it with that garbage religion and all that, right? She go out there and meet, because they got some type of special bond going and all that. But this is what y'all would call today, no disrespect to the women, this is what people be calling thought. She was just wild, drinking, all that, And that's how my mom's mom was. That's what she died of, cirrhosis of the liver. Drink and was wild, shoot at her own kids if they got disrespectful and everything. So it says Mary Fields was born into slavery. But little is known of her early life or what she did in those years. Immediately following the end of the Civil War and her emancipation in the late 1870s, she became a housekeeper at the Ursuline Convent in Toledo, Ohio, where she had a close relationship with Mother Amadeus. This is a mother, not her mother, one of them Catholic mothers. Various accounts posit that Mother Amadeus was a member of a family that owned fields when she was a child. See how they got to throw speculation in there? We think that because she's close with this Catholic lady, that the Catholic lady's family might have owned her. Man, this lady's just as wild as... Man, this ain't no slave right here. You don't come out of slavery, which they show y'all people all timid, scared to move around, this and that. This woman walking around like America's her country, knowing everywhere to go, places she travels to Montana, going through so-called Indian territory and all this stuff, traveling by herself. And that this early acquaintanceship accounted both for their close relationship and for Fields' presence at the convent. It is known that Fields was about, listen, Mary Fields, Stagecoach Mary they call her. This Indian right here y'all looking at, the early life of her. She was about 6 feet tall and weighed about 200 pounds and was capable of doing what was then regarded as men's work as well as more standard housekeeping chores. When Mother Amadeus was sent to St. Peter's Mission outside Cascade, Montana, Fields initially remained in Toledo, Ohio, but about 1885, Mother Amadeus sent for her. Most accounts say that Mother Amadeus was near death with pneumonia and asked for Mary to take care of her. You want the slave to take care of you? All these people up there in Montana, you want her to take care of you? You know these Indians know this land, huh? Know how to heal you up, huh? And Mary Fields relocated to Montana. Now let's listen to what these people are saying.
Mary Fields was born in Hickman County, Tennessee, in 1832. She worked in the cotton fields as a slave for the first 30 years of her life.
But y'all don't know that.
As with most slaves, information on her early life is virtually non-existent. Because of this, we can only assume what her living conditions were like.
Oh, you're assuming.
All we know is that Mary must have outgrown most boys and girls in her town. By the time she was 18, she was a towering figure, standing at 6 feet tall and weighing around 200 pounds. At that time, it was common that their owners never recorded their names in documents.
Oh, yeah?
Instead, they used numbers which were written down in books.
Y'all know that's a lie, right? Because we got all the records and stuff, and we got all the counts before the 1800s. So they're talking about they didn't document their names or none of that stuff. They just had them as numbers. Numbers, huh? Like with the Holocaust? Where they was giving the people the numbers and all that? That fake Holocaust, the sacrifice to get where they needed to be? To put their people in position, that's what Holocaust means? Sacrifice by fire? Burning up their people, putting them in ovens and all that? Like we stated before, y'all know, the newcomers, they have to test out stuff, find out how their bodies are working. They got injected here into the game on this board that we call life. So they have to experiment with each other. Hold on, how does this work? How does this work? Take out the eyes. Dr. Malangala, I never seen him collecting eyes and ears and all kind of body parts and stuff. Creating all kind of double head babies and all these Siamese twins and garbage y'all see. That's what these people was doing, the newcomers, to figure out what position they would play. Their history is a mystery. Just like what happened to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Noble Drew Ali. Once they get to telling this truth about we indigenous, then they get knocked off. That'd be their last speeches. And they gotta go. Nah, they gotta go. They starting up this mess again. She walking around like she owned everything. know how to shoot and everything. She out shooting people. Where the heck they do that at? Then they tell you in these wars they was afraid to get the slaves guns and all that stuff. We're afraid to give these so-called Negroes guns and stuff. We didn't really want them fighting in our wars. Then you find out they fighting on both sides of the war. I got a document on that we're going to get into too. Fighting on both sides of the war. The British and the English. Come on, man. These is lies, man. These was Indian wars our people was having like we having today. In these hoods. Politics. That's all that is. So we're going to get into it. And we're going to go ahead and let them continue on. And we're going to correct their lies.
Slaves were treated like pieces of property. And Mary Fields was probably no exception.
Oh, yeah?
In
And they gave her that name?
1865, the American Civil War came to an end, and with it, slavery was outlawed. Finally, Mary was freed after having been a slave for over 30 years of her life. Unsure what to do,
But y'all didn't know
she
that.
followed the same path as many other former slaves and headed to a new life in the much friendlier North. Eventually, she found work as a laundress and servant on Mississippi River steamboats. After this, she supposedly worked in San Antonio,
Supposedly.
Florida,
Everything's
in the home of the
supposedly
judge,
with them.
Edmund Dunn. However, when Dunn's wife Josephine died, he asked Mary to take his 5 children to their aunt in Ohio. After a long journey, they finally reached the Ursuline Convent of the Sacred Heart in Toledo, of which the children's aunt, Mary Amadeus Dunn, was the Mother Superior. Mary had successfully fulfilled her duty. The 5 children were now safely under their aunt's care. When the nuns asked Mary how her journey was, she replied that it was fine, and then stated that she could really do with a cigar and a drink.
What?
With Edmund Dunn in Florida
She traveling and everything
and
too?
the children safely under the protection of their aunt, Mary no longer had an employer. Fortunately, the convent immediately hired her as a groundskeeper. Yet,
What?
the poor nuns had no idea what they were getting into. The nuns at the convent
Oh, the
were
poor
very
nuns.
peaceful and well disciplined.
They were disciplined?
Mary was the complete opposite.
Mary was a complete
For the next
opposite?
15
A
years,
slave?
Mary worked at the convent. While there, she received lodgings, meals, clothing, and was paid $50 per year. The previously calm and orderly convent completely changed when Mary arrived. She was loud and expressed herself in any way she saw fit.
What?
This raised many eyebrows in the quiet convent.
It's raising many eyebrows with us. Somebody coming up out of slavery and acting wild like this is their land and y'all can't tell me nothing? Run around drinking and smoking cigars and everything? Are you serious? That sounds like an Indian right there to me. That sounds like a Indios. Children of the Most High. On their land. Like they doing now. They just don't know it. They know it spiritually. They just don't know it consciously. They ain't gonna leave off this land. You ain't gonna take them nowhere. That's when all hell breaks loose. But this is what they telling y'all. See how their stories don't add up? Come on, man. This is what I get tired of, and this is what like drains me of like making these videos and on top of personal things, my mom. People don't know my mom had, before I took a time off, my mom was going through cancer and she beat it. Beat breast cancer. So that's my kind of pain that I go through as far as my depression is that the people won't wake up. Y'all won't wake up. And it's like, man, we're in this new age and y'all still holding on to this old garbage that's full of lies. All you do is research and you start poking holes through all the lies. And then you ask street cats that think this. All you gotta do is pigeonhole them, ask them like, okay, how do y'all operate like far as in prison and stuff like that? How do y'all, and I'm one of these cats, how do you operate far as in prison and all that with cats that's rapists or child molesters and things like that. Don't y'all got political laws? Oh yeah. So okay, if you have a crackhead that they was convicting back in those days, right? Because they was convicting people back in those days, our people, once they dropped the drugs in our neighborhoods and stuff, right? They know we know how to peddle things because we always been peddling stuff in Americas. We got all these ports and everywhere, things that was giving things. When you look up and see like the inventions of the so-called African Americans that changed the world, you see all this stuff, technology, we wouldn't have none of this stuff without us. These are the ancient ones that still do the ancient stuff and bring you the stuff that changes the world, right? But then at the times when our people was on drugs, the women and stuff like that, giving their children up for drugs, as you can go on YouTube, all this technology y'all got, which a lot of us probably already know the stories because we probably done already dealt with them personally, with certain family members and stuff like that, giving their kids away for drugs and all that, for sex, right? And those people was getting convicted, them addicts that was doing that. And so today, so will the parents. If they're selling their kids off into the sex trades and all that, they will convict the parents and then they'll convict the buyer, right? Hunt them down. Why is nobody talking about if you think you're an African and they sold you, they were participating into your rape and slave? They tell you men was getting raped, women was getting raped, right? Y'all get this sad story, y'all being brutalized and beaten and all this stuff when you got people running around here like this. Like, this is my land. This is the story y'all get. And then y'all got the nerve to be trying to trip with us about us knowing that we aboriginals and poking through these lies and got all the evidence. Y'all got no evidence. Your religion, which a religion is made of, you look at most religions, they have all these Messiah, so-called Jesus supposed to save them and all this stuff, right? That they can't see and don't go back to no historical records. You Pan-Africans, you $5 Africans, 5-cent Africans are the same way. You're a religion. Instead of reading the Bible, you have the books they give you, these fake history, mainstream academia books. And then you believe in slave ships you can't see. They believe in something Mary and all this other stuff they can't see. Same thing you guys do. And those are your gods. Those are the people you go to. The mainstream academia. The people that give you that. Those are your gods. Those are who you swear by. And just as those people do in the Bible, when they start doing all this stuff and breaking bread and all this stuff you see them doing in the church, y'all do the same thing. Y'all start following their lies and trying to live up to their standards like they're trying to live up to the people's standards. They don't know that the Bible's a historical thing. It's all historical. It all ties in with the Algonquian Bible of the Indians, and it ties in with the Mayan codices, the Aztec codices. All that stuff is all combined in there. It's all the same thing. But that's y'all religion. Y'all $5 Africans, 5-cent Africans. And your gods that you've made is the ones that you can see. And you guys make fun of the other people, say, y'all worshiping to something y'all can't even see. Going at it with the Israelite, y'all worshiping things y'all can't see. And y'all worshiping things you can see and you can see through their lies. That's your religion right there. That's your religion. And those are your gods. Franz Boas, Melville Herskovitz, Margaret Sanger, all of them is your gods.
It's true that she did her job well and kept the grounds in immaculate shape, but her behaviour intimidated many of the nuns.
She intimidated many of them.
Called, God help anyone who walked on the lawn after Mary had cut it. She swore, complained about her low pay, and would fight anyone, man or woman, at any given moment.
Not a slave.
This behaviour would have shocked white women at the time. They expected African Americans to be well behaved and subservient. Yet, Mary didn't fit into this norm.
Nope.
Also, there are records that many nuns complained about her temper and
What?
difficult nature.
Uh-huh.
Although Mary initially struggled to adjust to the calm life of the convent.
You would think a sister like this wouldn't even have lasted. You would think this ancestor right here wouldn't even have lasted. What they talking about? She went off and be tripping on men, women. She didn't care. Walking on that lawn, disrespecting her. This is her land. She gonna walk around how she want to. Told y'all this story y'all been giving is fake, man. It's fake history. It's his story, not yours. That's another thing you Pan-Africans, y'all $5 Africans be doing. Y'all be letting, when they say our history, that's not you included. You dummies. You're not included in that. In their history. When they talk about all this Big Bang theories and evolution and all that, this is our history of evolution. When they're saying that, they're not including you, dummies. You're the children of the higher power. That's their thing. Stop including yourself in their stuff. Do your own history. Find out who you are. Do your genealogy and all that. Find out who you are. Stop trying to go off of what they talking about. Yeah, we came from monkeys. They're talking about them. Not you, dummy. Y'all dummies. When they talking about all this Big Bang stuff, they talking about them. The Big Bang and how they got here. Through the fallen ones. The angels. The bang and all that. It's not us. We the ancient ones. What did Malcolm X say? Aborigines. What is Aborigines? So-called black people. You never find a white Aborigine, what he was saying. Gosh dang, you dummies.
She did make one important friend, Mother Amadeus Dunn, the convent's highly respected and much adored Mother Superior. Mother Amadeus was a brave soul, known for her charisma and fearlessness. She got on very well with Mary, and their friendship blossomed.
Y'all
In
see that?
1884, she was called to do missionary work by her bishop and was sent to Montana Territory to establish schools for Native American children.
Look at the mix.
A year later,
Mestizos.
Mother Amadeus fell very ill, possibly due to pneumonia. Despite all of Mary's flaws, she had a strong sense of loyalty and a heart of gold. As soon as she heard the news
That's our people.
that her friend was ill, she dropped everything and endured a
We'll take care of
1,600-mile
you.
trip by herself
What?
to rush to her side
By
in
herself?
Cascade, Montana. Mary stayed with Mother Amadeus until she was fully recovered, and she was vital in nursing her back to health. Initially, Mary planned on returning to the convent in Ohio once her dear friend was better. However, she decided that she liked the West and decided to stay there.
Stayed, huh?
Following this, Mary started to work at a Montana convent near Cascade. For several years, she helped to build churches and other buildings surrounding the convent.
Bad.
She was an effective worker
Churches.
and refused men's help while carrying heavy loads of lumber and stone on her back.
She'd carried
Once
that.
the construction was complete, she continued to work for the convent, but now she had a much more direct relationship with the nuns. Although she faithfully served the nuns in the harsh, isolated community, her attitude and actions made the bishop grow increasingly concerned. Only a few months passed, and already several people had complained to the bishop about her behaviour.
Telling on her.
Not only
Look
did
at
his
that.
new employee smoke, drink, and swear,
Africans don't do
but
that.
she also dressed
Smoke,
like a
drink,
man.
swear.
These values, which were not at all in line with the Catholic churches, caused tensions.
Cause
The
tension,
final
huh?
straw came when Mary got into an argument with the convent's disrespectful janitor. Things turned violent, and both drew guns on each other.
What?
After this, the bishop ordered her to leave the convent and never return.
What? She had guns?
This was the first time after many years that Mary was finally free to think about what she wanted to do. But first,
Finally?
she had to make ends meet. To
Couldn't
provide
tell her
for
that.
herself, she did all sorts of odd jobs, such as working on a farm growing crops, looking after animals, doing people's laundry, and even repairing
Working on farms. That's all you see our people do, farming our land. You don't come over here from another land and know how to do it better than the so-called natives. We hands down got all the evidence. All the evidence points at us. Bones, everything, artifacts, you name it. We don't have to be a religion. We're not a religion. We don't have to go over if or where is this or we'll just believe. Remember, that's what they tell you? Just believe in the churches. That's what they tell you in the Pan-Africans. Just believe, brother, that we was brought here on these ships, these boats, with no engines and all this stuff going on. Vomit, feces, how we getting there? Who's eating what? They starved out. We killing people with diseases, but they ain't dying. Just believe, though, brother. Just believe, soul brother. And we are the soul people, the people with the souls. That's been helping out the soulless. Let's get it.
Buildings. It was around this time that the Native Americans nicknamed her White Crow.
What?
Apparently, this was because she acted like a white woman, but had black skin.
Oh.
As she was the first and one of the only African Americans.
White Crow, huh? That's what they named her, huh? Because they said to her accent, see, this was shocking to the Native Americans, because they knew here. And they tripping like, what the heck? We thought you guys had them under control. Like, no. We've been doing this. Welcome, strangers, all you strangers. Welcome to our land. Let us show you how we do it and how we get down. They think because of the way she moving around her status, they like, this ain't a slave. This ain't what y'all told us. Y'all was telling us these people were docile and all this. Come to find out they fighting in all these wars breaking out over here, Seminole wars, all these wars going on. These ain't the people y'all told us about. Heck no, we're going to sit back in these tents. We're going to sit in these teepees and chill until y'all get whatever y'all got, these laws and stuff, where y'all can start snatching them up through their laws and stuff. Because they done came lawless. They done became lawless. As the scriptures talk about, it's historical stuff. Y'all should know this already. Right? Let's get it.
In the town, local whites didn't know what to think of her. In an essay, a schoolgirl wrote this of Mary. She drinks whiskey and she swears.
What?
And she is a Republican.
Oh,
which makes
Republican?
her a low, foul creature.
Makes her a low, foul
Yet with
creature,
the pass
huh?
of time, opinions on her within the town changed. She ended up opening a restaurant and decided to serve food
Look at all
to
them Indians.
anyone, regardless if they had the money
Brothers,
to
I'm
pay
talking about the
or
brothers, not the others over there.
Unfortunately, her tendency to give free meals to the needy put her out of business. After just 10 months, her restaurant closed down due to bankruptcy. It was around this time that she could frequently be found in saloons, drinking strong liquors and getting into gunfights.
What? She getting into gunfights?
In 1895, her old friend, Mother Amadeus, donated a stagecoach to encourage travel in the remote region. This also meant that the US Post Office could use it to open a star route for faster mail delivery. Although Mary was around 63 years old, she was hired by the US Postal Service as a mail courier. Despite the competition, Mary won the sought-after position thanks to her tough reputation and by hitching horses in the harness.
So they have to let her go out there and go and deliver mail. We run across her people, the other hostile Indians, uncivilized ones, out there acting a fool. They gonna let her pass through. They giving us problems. Y'all see it? Hey, the actor Gary Cooper met Fields when he was a child. An account of his memories of her appeared in the Ebony magazine, which they don't even tell us, right? But it appeared in the Ebony magazine in 1959. He was mesmerized off this Indian, Gary Cooper. Right? Caucasian dude. Y'all understand that? Y'all, man, this is like, man, I don't know, man. This is, this is like, this is why I be like getting so depressed and not, I mean, it's just so obvious. Like, why our people can't wake up? This stuff is just obvious. Like, what the heck? Like, man, wake them up, shake them up, Most High. How's this stuff not obvious, but it's obvious to us? Let's get it.
And the other applicants, who were all men, around half her age. She was the second woman and first African American to work as a star route carrier. It was no easy job. She was in charge of safely delivering and protecting mail from thieves and bandits.
Wow.
She would receive the mail from certain trains, load it into a stagecoach, and maneuver her way around all sorts of terrain.
The woman was tougher than you.
Rough roads,
pale faces.
muddy fields. She quickly
that
established
Indian woman
a
was tougher than y'all, pale
for
faces.
reliability. She never missed a day of work, and thanks to this, she earned the nickname Stagecoach Mary.
Stagecoach Mary.
She expertly handled her team of several horses and a mule named Moses. When her route was affected by heavy snow, making the horses unable to move properly, she would strap on her snowshoes, throw the mailbags over her shoulders, and walk into town.
Wow.
Despite her intimidating height, size, tough demeanor, and reputation, some still thought they could get the better of her. Mary carried with her a rifle and revolver so that any troublemakers could be quickly dealt with by a single, well-placed bullet. Rumour had it that she managed to fend off an angry pack of wolves with her rifle. This may well be true, as we know she was a very effective shooter.
Wow.
Her temperament was
doing
compared to that of a grizzly bear.
Grizzly bear?
Stagecoach Mary was not to be crossed under any circumstances.
Boy, Stagecoach Mary, a.k.a. Grizzly Mary. That brown grizzly bear. That big brown grizzly bear. 6 feet, 200 pounds. A beatdown. For a pale face or who anybody got in her way. Y'all see that? Take a good look at that. No slave. It's an Indian right there. Y'all been Hollywood bamboozled and put the abba dabba on you. That y'all think that the ones with the long hair and all that, the weird looking pale face looking ones is the ones, the Mongols. All the time not knowing those are the Native Americans. You're the American Indian. Those are the newcomers. You're the descendant of the ancient ones of the Americas. Let's get it.
Yet, many fools did so anyway. In one case, a man seriously offended Mary. She responded by pelting him with rocks until he cried.
What?
Another instance where she was crossed was when a cowboy challenged her to a duel. She accepted. When the duel began, she was so fast at pulling out her six-shooter that her opponent didn't stand a chance.
What?
Mary purposely shot close to his head so that he could feel the wind of the bullet. Frightened, the man immediately conceded and never spoke to her again. Stagecoach Mary became a respected and beloved celebrity in Cascade. Although she was strong.
Wow, y'all ain't got no stories out of the Native American women? Can we get something like tangible evidence like this? About the Native American, the Mongols doing this type of stuff or having a woman like this? She reminded me of Judith, right? Told y'all the Bible is historical stuff. Judith in the Bible, what I showed y'all before. Went up there and cut off King Nebuchadnezzar, one of his little underlings, cut his head off. Rest of the tribes and stuff was shook up of him. She went over there, got herself glamorized up, beautied herself up, went over there and chopped his head clean off. He thought he was going to get some action with her. Right? Setups we do in the streets. Send a pretty woman up under somebody. Like you seen Cardi B was saying. When everybody was scrutinizing her and stuff. That's the stuff that go on every day in the uncivilized tribes in the Americas. The so-called hoods. The hood Indians. Setting cats up. Ballers and all that. Back in my day. Set him up. Put the pretty female up under him. Let him do his thing. She go to sleep. He go to sleep. She go and page us, let us know. Come and get it. Come and get the money. Come and get him everything. Right? We're the ones that's the beautiful ones. Pocahontas and all that. That these senators and politicians and stuff get caught. And sports owners get caught. With these so-called prostitutes, call girls, copper colors, the Indians. They're not going to native. They're not going to these little reservations. They're going to the big reservations, the ghettos, where they at. Not the little ones tucked off somewhere with a little couple casinos. Right? That's who they be wanting. They hunting after you. Same thing with the so-called prince dude that married Meghan Markle. They're not looking for Native Americans. They're looking for you and your DNA. They're hunting down. They want that. They want what you got. Everything you got. Let's get it.
And intimidating. The locals admired her generosity and kindness to children. Moreover, the town's schools closed each year on her birthday.
What?
To celebrate her life and
Did we
special
do that?
day. Thanks to her fame, local restaurants would give her free meals.
Wow.
And in saloons, everyone would want to talk to her. Unfortunately, Montana passed a law forbidding women from entering saloons.
Oh, yeah?
Mary was no longer allowed to drink in one of her favourite places.
Did she believe that?
But the mayor of Cascade granted her an exemption.
Oh, okay.
Besides, nobody was brave enough to try and keep her out.
What?
In 1903, at 71 years old, age finally caught up to her. After 8 years of doing her duty, Mary Fields retired from the Star Route mail carrier service. For the remainder of her life, she dedicated herself to babysit Cascade children and operated a laundry service from her home.
Taking care of the pale
Mary
faces.
Fields died of liver failure on the 5th of December 1914 at Columbus Hospital in Great Falls at the age of 82.
Wow.
After her death, the whole town mourned.
And that's
Her
all they gave
passing
her?
signaled the end of an era. The West was full of strong and courageous people, but none of them were like Stagecoach Mary. Many legends from the Wild West have had their stories exaggerated, with fiction mixing with fact.
All the pale faces
But
have
this
theirs
wasn't necessary
exaggerated.
For Stagecoach Mary.
But not hers, huh?
She was described as one of the freest souls to ever draw breath. Mary Fields was buried outside of Cascade. Her funeral was one of the largest the town had ever seen.
What?
Thank you everyone for watching this video on Stagecoach Mary. I really hope you did.
All this for this so-called Negro, this Indio, this Indian, this one chosen by a higher power. We're the descendants of all these people that act like this. All these people that have been doing all this. They are the aboriginals of America. They are the chosen people. We've given the world everything. And look at how they repay us. Everything they got is speculation from his point of view. God is talking right now. The other ones claim it's facts, even though they say theories. Out of Africa is a theory. There's no agriculture or anything that shows that they were the first ones. Somehow they bring us over here on these imaginary boats and we start doing greatness. They get around us and suck up the greatness. Right? Come in contact with the greatness. You're the gift that keeps on giving. But you don't know it. You just think you're just some regular old descendant of people that were raped and beaten, and you've become like them now. Watch out for all the stuff that you're watching. That should always be a warning when you're watching your TV programs that is programming you. You go to school to be programmed. Most of the kids don't come out of school with nothing but a whole bunch of debt and brainwashed. Go to college and don't even come out of college doing what they wanted to do. They got to switch and take up another subject and career for their lives. We're not doing nothing we want to do. My son thought he was going, everything my son thought he wanted to do, going to these pale-faced schools, it backfired on him. He didn't want to do it. He signed up for music thinking it was going to be the music that he's used to hearing and the beat and vibration and the rhythm and all that. And he's like, man, they teaching me like this plain, like they're food, plain, bland. Our kids need to be taken out of their stuff and done like we was doing before. And in our own schools, teaching them our own rhythm, because it downs us and it takes out of our spirit. That's why it's good to do your genealogy. But guess what? I will never go again like I was when I was young and a kid, conjoined on to the Native Americans, the Mongols, and things like that. Because they got a bunch of these pale faces that's running their tribes and stuff. Just like we used to do at drum ceremony, we be mad. They over there playing the drums, and even the Native Americans, because they listen to our music, they be mad. Can't even overshadow the things that they're supposed to be doing. But we have all that. It's like the Brother Chief Holiday show, or I think it was Aboriginal Power, one of them, was showing how we do the line dances and all that, how we do the Cupid shuffle. All that's a part of our culture. That's the dancing that we're doing. Not that stiff one leg moving and all that. Man, I never want to be a part of that ever again. Not the drum ceremony, not the smudge ceremonies, not the sweat lodges, none of that. And I'll advise our people not to be a part of that unless we running it. And you seeing all of us. Or you can hear that drum beat that you know is Mother Earth of the Americas, that got that distinct sound that moves through your body and makes you feel a certain kind of way. And them voices. Right? And you remember how we sing them churches songs and all that? Swing low, swing high, sweet chariot. What's a chariot? Huh? The Most High moving a chariot? Is that what the people talking about? Come and rescue us? Huh? Stuff in the songs, y'all didn't even pay attention? We got our own culture. We cook different food. Even from our brothers and sisters of the islands. They eat jerk chicken over in Jamaica. Or what y'all call Jamaica. The DR, Haiti, all of them. And you know, y'all know Haiti wild too. All these people is just wild like us. Y'all remember seeing all the movies of Steven Seagal battling the Jamaican posse? And they got him like he's some superhero cracking bones and breaking legs and all that. Come on, man. These is movies. This is the stuff they program you with. It's not reality. We got to wake up, man. The time is now. Do your research, do your genealogy, find out. Like we've been showing, you look at your last name and stuff, go on them roads, Indian roads, you start finding out what your grandma was saying. Even though a lot of those 5 civilized tribes is umbrella terms, and you branch off into the literal tribes, and you can find out what the literal tribes are that you was from before you had to come up under them. Before we had to come up under each other as a bigger political party. And then but far as going out there with them cats and TPs and all that and doing these stiff, bland dances and all that, that's not us. We the ones you seeing right now in Houston with the rodeo show, with the trail rides and all that. Right? We the ones that be leading that stuff, the trail rides. You gonna trail rides, having fun. They out there cooking and chewing it up. You know, even though I don't eat meat like that, I only eat meat once a day, and I don't eat it on the weekends. But every once in a while, I got company or family or friends out of town or something like that, homies. You know, but I don't eat nothing unclean or anything. But I don't like meat or anything. But you can drive your crazy just off of that. Because as I started to cut back from meat and eating all these plants, and I'm like, dang, the plants be alive. The plants, you do your research and find out they got all kind of videos where plants have emotions. And they get scared and stuff when you're saying. Mary Fields, born 1832, Hickman County, Tennessee. Died 1914, Great Falls, Montana. But she was a Republican all this time, right? Said she was a Republican? So let's find out when women were able to vote. Siri, when were women able to vote? What year?
According to our documents, passed by Congress June 4, 1919, and ratified on August 18, 1920, the 19th Amendment granted women the right to vote. The 19th Amendment guarantees all American women the right to vote.
She died before 1920. Is that strange? Tells you she was a Republican. Is that strange to you guys? You see the contradictions in their lies and stuff? Remember Mary Fields, Stagecoach Mary, a.k.a. Big Brown Grizzly Mary. 6 foot, 200 pounds. Not to be messed with. On that note again, we're going to say, Shalom. Peace and power to all the American Aboriginals, the Indios, children of the Most High, / corrupted version Indians, from all the mainland, across the mainland to the islands. Things around them. So you can drive yourself crazy with all this, like, dang, what do I eat? What do I do? Sometimes I go through that when I'm depressed. I'm riding on a higher energy sometimes when I'm my higher self, not my lower self, my higher self. And I start thinking about that and I start driving myself crazy, because you really can go crazy from this. Because you're like, well, what do I do? What do I eat? You start getting in tune with your higher self, your higher spirit. I used to tell my wife that sometimes. There's things about me, man, that will blow y'all mind. I used to have people want to write books about me when I first got out from being locked up. Just off my life of being in the streets, gangs and all that. Shootouts, everything. I had publishers and authors, people that are something in the publishing and writing and author game, that want to write books on my life, of just what I seen in these young eyes when I was young. So what I'm telling y'all is, all this stuff pertains to you of the Americas. Stop going off of this fake religion from these Pan-Africans, these $5 Africans, and all these other people giving you these lies. Know yourself. And let us come together and do our own thing, man. And on that note, I want to say shalom to y'all. Peace and power to the mainland Indians and the island Indians. Because we all the same and we all wild. We might be different tribes and have different looks. Some darker, some mostly the copper color ones. But we all got our work to do. And let us do it. Shalom. Let's go out with a bang, y'all. It's a little snippet. Let's look at the controversy and the contradictions they do.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal,
Christmas addicts.
that they are endowed
Do
by
your
their
history on
Creator
them.
with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Fake?
What are you right?
Fake?
It's for the Congress.
There we go.
Concern you.
Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it.
Do all approve the declaration as revised by this committee?
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, solemnly declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be,
There we are.
free and independent.
Only one that can beat an Indian is another Indian. So-called Negro. We're gonna find out. These pale-faces start getting low with their warriors dying out. And they called us in. From all sides. From both sides of wars. All these wars cracking off. Indians versus Indians. Only Indian can beat another Indian. Listen with this other Indian tell him. Fighting against each other. Both sides of the war.
You're a slave. I ain't no slave. I'm a soldier.
I'm a soldier, boy. I'm a warrior.
But when this war's over, I'm gonna be a free man.
You already
You
free,
will
bro.
be back in chains.
And you be
Ask
back
your
in
general
chains.
about slaves. And then you tell me who's free and who's not.
What? Shalom.